All right, we are back. This is NHL 20 Franchise Mode Calgary Flames, and this is an NHL 16 or episode 16 recap. So, I just want to fill you in quickly here why the audio sounds a little different. I'm recording right now off of my computer because what happened is I recorded all of episode 16 like I usually do, but however I guess I forgot to check to make sure the microphone on the headset was plugged in all the way, and of course it wasn't. And of course I recorded the entire episode that you can see right here. It was a 58 minutes of an episode there on the PlayStation for episode 16 to begin our off season. And of course, like I said, the microphone wasn't plugged in, so I actually uploaded the whole video to YouTube, and then once it was published, that's when I actually realized there was no audio coming from the microphone. There was just audio coming from the PlayStation itself. So really bizarre. I think that's the first time that's ever happened to me, but I did, like I said, record the entire episode and sim forward the entire way with no audio. So I thought this is what we can do. We can make a small recap video here, and then we'll jump right into episode 17. But I didn't want to completely skip episode 16 because there is still some stuff here in this episode that you'll see that is probably of importance. We begin our off season in this episode. We get right through the NHL draft and the re-signing phase, and we get right up to July 1. But there's some things in this episode that we can skip over, like at the beginning of this episode here. What I did is looked at the end of our playoff seasons. Now, I guess recapping from episode 15 is we did lose to the Anaheim Ducks for the fifth straight playoff series. You can see there we lost in 7 games. We can move this down here. We lost in 7 games to the Anaheim Ducks in Game 7 by 1 goal in overtime. So that was pretty tough, obviously. To lose for a 5th straight playoff series against the Ducks. I think our all-time record now against the Ducks is something stupid like 7-20 or something. 7 wins, 20 straight losses in the playoffs against the Anaheim Ducks. We just have really bad luck, and that's kind of what I was talking about in this beginning part of this episode here, which is now playing on the screen, but you can't hear any of the audio coming from it because, like I said, the microphone wasn't recording. So that's basically what I was blabbering about right here at this part of the episode, was just the fact that we obviously lost to the Anaheim Ducks for a 2nd straight playoff year. It's our 2nd straight year being GM here at the Calgary Flames, and like I said, we lost to the Ducks for a 2nd straight year. Obviously, that's not the way we want it. See, you can hear the little audio there from the PlayStation as I'm switching from screen, but the audio wasn't going from the microphone. So, anyways, back to what I was saying is we lost for a 2nd straight year to the Anaheim Ducks. And we're not going to dwell on it. Is basically what I was trying to say in this first however many minutes it took me of the episode to record this. We can't basically go for building our team to beat the Anaheim Ducks. The fact of the matter is every time we face the Ducks, like we have the last 2 years in the playoffs, we get eliminated by the Ducks in the 2nd round. This year, they shouldn't even have made it to the playoffs. They just squeaked in as the 8th seed, and they still went on and eliminated us in the 2nd round. So basically what I'm trying to say is we don't want to go and completely change our team just because we keep losing to the Anaheim Ducks. I've never seen one team struggle so bad with another team like Calgary has with Anaheim over the many years. Like I said, we've faced them 5 times in franchise history in the Stanley Cup playoffs. We have not beaten them once. In fact, our record, like I said, is 7 wins and 20 losses against them in the playoffs. It's really bizarre in the regular season as well. How bizarre it was between 2004 and 2016 or 17, whenever we snapped that losing streak in Anaheim. I've just never seen it, but the fact of the matter is it is what it is. So moving forward, though, we are going to move forward from. It was obviously a really disappointing way to end in Game 7 in overtime in round 2. We were that close to moving on to the Western Conference Finals for the first time since 2004, and the first time in our franchise mode. But we can't dwell on that. We can't dwell on the fact that we keep losing to the Ducks. We have to move forward. So we're going to continue to construct our team the best we think we will to win against any team, not just the Anaheim Ducks. And the Ducks team is so different year in year out. So it's not like we gotta get tougher. It's not like we need to get more scoring. The Ducks are eventually we gotta hope we just don't run into the Anaheim Ducks one day in the playoffs. So you never know. It's kind of bizarre, but we have to just keep going forward. So you can see here now I start to take a look here at this part of the episode at the at the player stats. I'm just going to fast forward here. So that's a look at what we did there in the playoffs. Corey Perry did lead the way for us. I did mention at this part of the episode that Corey Perry did lead us with 10 points in 12 games. Don't forget, we picked him up at the trade deadline. Not a bad piece to pick up. We brought him in to play on our third line. He actually did really well for us. I think if we fast forward here, here's a look at the playoff tree quickly. So you can see we make it, obviously, like I said, we beat the Canucks in 5 games in round 1. Then we lose in 7 games to the Ducks. You can see what the rest of the playoffs look like, I guess, there. But if we come back here, there's a look at Perry at his stats. Monahan, Goudreau had 8 points for us there. Mangiapane, 7 points. And onward, Domi just 6 points. Don't forget, Domi only played 9 games. Tkachuk down there at 6 points as well. Bennett, Giordano, 5 points. Backlund. But what I think I did here is I looked at, I was looking at their season stats. We were talking here a little bit about Matthew Tkachuk, how we think he probably could do a little bit more. He's still hitting the 50-point plateau as he has the past 2 years for us, but a huge downgrade from his 77 points there you can see in 2018-2019. So obviously we want to see a little bit more out of him offensively. He is only 23 years of age. So I talked about how we had got Max Domi and how we thought Max Domi was really going to help him improve. I mentioned, and we'll talk about it later, maybe in this episode, maybe in the next episode, but I mentioned maybe we should try flipping Tkachuk to the top line with Gaudreau and Monahan. Maybe that will help, and we'll put somebody else down there, Lindholm with Domi and Backlund or something, or Mangiapane on that line. But 86 overall, still potential, medium elite potential at 23 years of age. Tkachuk's not going anywhere. It's just we probably want to see a little bit more production out of him. There's a look at, like I said, at Domi. When we look at his stats, I don't think we looked into his stats here. There's a look at Lindholm. Again, Lindholm's hitting the 50-point plateau as well for us each year, playing Gaudreau and Monahan. But for some reason, you still want to see more of these guys. It's not so much what they're doing here in the regular season. It's more about their playoff stats. Here's a look at Lindholm's playoff stats. Just puts up 4 points in 12 games this year, 4 points in 8 games last year, and a -5 this year for Lindholm. So we do want to see more out of guys like Tkachuk and Lindholm in the playoffs. So let me fast forward here. So yeah, I think we just quickly looked at our individual stats. It's nothing major there. Lindholm's also an 86 there. So I think here we're just starting to sim up now. Simming up to the draft, I believe. So yeah, that's what we're going to do here. Like I said, this is just a recap video right now from this episode that I recorded with no audio, so I'm really going to fast forward through this episode. I just wanted to put this out. I was thinking of just going right into episode 17, but I was like, no, I'll show you what happened here in episode 16. Since I'm not going to obviously publish episode 16 without the audio. This is a look at the draft lottery. Pretty crazy that Columbus jumped to first overall from 10, Boston stayed at 2, LA jumped to 3 from 8, something like that. Just crazy draft lottery results as usual. Then we just took a quick look at the retired player list. Marian Hossa, Spezza, Gabrick, Backus, guys like that on there. Nobody from the Flames on the retired player list here. I think they did coach's retirement there as well. We had an AHL coach that retired or something. Then we got right into the draft here. You can see we were picking 23 overall this year in the NHL entry draft. And I think what I did here is I just went into the trade screen. I was trying to look at what our contract situation was like for this up-and-coming re-signing phase, which is going to be happening right after the draft. The biggest notable names here, Juuso Välimäki on defense, Rasmus Andersson, or not Rasmus, sorry, Oliver Shillington and Dylan Dubé. So those were the 3 roster players that are most notably up. They're all 3 of them are RFAs. Again, Välimäki, Shillington, and Dubé. And then we had guys like Bennett, Jankowski, Corey Perry, guys that are UFAs as well. I think actually Bennett was an RFA. I can't remember. We'll get to it here in a second. And then in the goaltending department, this is the part I didn't see, was in the goaltending department. I didn't realize that both Cam Talbot and David Reddick, and even our prospect goaltender David Wolf, all 3 of their contracts were up. So I think we'll fast forward to that first here. So I was just looking at our contract situation there. Yeah, so I was looking here at Shillington. Yeah, so Shillington's contract's obviously up. Wanted to get him signed. I think we looked at, then we went to the draft screen. So we'll get to that in a second. We'll come back to that. I'm just really fast forwarding through different parts of this episode here. So this was our draft. We picked at 23 overall. We didn't do the player interview process this time around. I don't know why. I think we skipped it by accident. Didn't matter though, because we picked this A. Ratty guy here, RT Ratty from the Finnish Elite League, and he ends up being a top 6 for medium potential at top 6 medium potential. Not bad left winger. I thought there was some defensemen up there, and there was even some goaltending, but we have 2 goaltending prospects in Zagadulin, Artem Zagadulin, who's in the AHL, of course, and Dustin Wolf, like I said, who we got to re-sign in this episode. So I didn't think we needed another goalie, and I didn't think we need defense either. At the end of this episode, we're going to look at our projected lineup as well. Since I'm on my laptop right now, we can do that. Yeah, so we end up picking this Ratty guy here, 23 overall. Not a bad pick. I think I fast forward too fast here. This is hard to do on the Mac. So there's a look at our picks that we made: 23, 54, 147, 178, 183, 204, 209. So that's what we did at the draft. And then we obviously we just fast forwarded through all this and got right to the re-signing phase. So here we go. We're now in the re-signing phase. Like I said, there's Corey Perry, Mark Jankowski, Oscar Fantenberg, all UFAs. Lomberg, McDonald as well in there. So all UFAs for those guys. And then I think this is when we started to figure out that we have, there's the goaltending screen here, that we have Riddick, Talbot, and Wolf all pending UFAs as well. So we had to get these guys signed. Our biggest priority, of course, being David Riddick, 85 overall. He is our starting goalie. Cam Talbot was our backup. We want to get all 3 of these guys signed if we can. And then we looked at Riddick's stat here. So just a look at David Riddick the last 2 seasons here. 63 games for us in that first season for us, 9-15 through 63 games, went 37, 17, and 6. And then he plays 47 games last year, posing a 24, 15, and 7 record with a 913 save percentage. And again, he was injured for the end of that season, so he missed some games, but still played 47 games for us. Really good numbers by Riddick, who is now 28 years of age. 85 overall. He is a #1 goalie in this league. Then we looked at Talbot, who had really good backup numbers as well. He went 9-1-2 last year through 26 games, and then played a bigger chunk this year because Riddick went down in injury. 38 games. He went 905, but don't forget how good he was for us in the first round of the Stanley Cup playoffs against Vancouver as well. Goaltending was not a problem for us this season. It was very inconsistent at times. I think that's what I talked about at this part of the episode. Very inconsistent at times, but really not a problem at all for us this season at all. That's why I want to go back into next year with Riddick and Talbot. So that was the thing we were doing here. I think I'll just play it from here. So basically, our biggest priority here was to offer David Riddick a contract. So this is what he wants: 4 years, 4.925. I guess it is. That's what he wants. That's not bad. I think I was saying at this part of the episode. That's not bad. 85 overall. Like I said, 28 years of age. 4 more years is good for a goalie because don't forget they're going to exit their prime window very early, a lot earlier than players. So 4 more years would take Riddick till he's 32. So I think we kept the, slowly but surely here, we're moving forward, but I think we kept the 4 years at 4.9, and we offered him exactly what he wants. Let's just fast forward quickly. Yeah, so we offer him exactly what he wants here at 4 years there, 4.9, and then we offered Talbot. Or we don't offer Talbot what he wants because we want to get Riddick signed first. And then we jump into look at our UFA pool. Like I said, it's Fantenberg, Jankowski, Lomberg, McDonald, Perry. Wouldn't mind bringing back a Jankowski and Perry for sure, but it's going to be tough because you can see our salary cap space at the bottom left of your screen there somewhere. 13 mil is our salary cap space. We got to get Riddick done, and we have some big RFAs. So that's what we actually do is we switch to our RFA screen because we got some big guys here. Juuso Valimaki, 86 overall already, elite medium potential, and only 22 years of age. This guy is our #1 priority. Then there's Dylan Dubé, and like I said, Oliver Shillington, Sam Bennett there as well. I just went backwards. This is so hard to do. So what we do is we offer Valimaki a contract here first. That's the big priority. He wants 7.22, 4 years. I think we try and bring that down a little bit. Yeah, I'm just going to fast forward here. This is really hard to do. I wish I was not on my computer. So we offer Valimaki, or we don't. We look at what Shillington wants, and Shillington is asking for, Dubé's asking for 3.4 for 2 years. The big thing about Dubé is, remember, he's going to be on our third line. He's not going to get top 6 minutes. Our top 6 is already stacked with Mangiapane in there. So Dubé won't be getting into our top 6. So I don't want to pay him any more than a third liner, and 3.4 was already more than I wanted to pay. Shillington was asking for something really good here. 1.6 for 3 years. So I give that to Shillington. I offer him that. I look at some of what our UFAs are looking at here. And then I offered Valimaki $7 million flat for 4 years here. Oh no, I brought it down to 6.7. 6.7 here. 6.7 for 4 years flat. And then I offered Dubé $3 million flat, I believe. Yeah, $3 million flat for 2 years. That's what I offer him. And we offered Shillington what he wanted. And then we don't do any more contracts because we want to get these guys signed. And they all, I think they all deny. Yeah, they all do. So we have to come back and, oh, I went way too far forward here. This is so hard. I apologize. So they all, we'll go here. I'll see you here. It is. So Riddick has decided to reject the offer. He wants to test the free agent market. So this is scary. The fact that he wants to test the free agent market. He says more cash may pursue him. May persuade him. Sorry, to sign Valimaki. It was a decision to renew my contract. Okay, so I'm sorry. I fast forwarded. I'm just gonna pause here for a second. I fast forwarded. Basically, after that contract you just saw me offer them, Valimaki, I offered 6.7. He said no to that, so then I went up to 7 million flat, I think, and offered that, and he said yes. Dubé, I think I had to get him at 3 mil. We'll check this again after. I apologize. This is just really tough to do here on the screen. Bottom line is we get both Dubé and we get both Valimaki done, as well as Shillington. He accepts the initial offer for 1.6, I think it was, for 3 years, so that's not bad. The biggest thing, though, is we still don't have David Riddick done, and we only got 3.6 to work with. So I tried offering Riddick, I think even 5 million or whatever he was asking for. I tried offering him what he was asking for, and he even tried upping the price a little bit, and he still said no. So you can see here we're going to goaltending. So I think I offered him one last contract. Oh, I can't even offer it. So he wanted 4.9, and I actually went up to 5 million flat. And he still said no to that. He said he wanted to test free agency. So that's where it's tough. Basically, Riddick is saying at this point in the episode that he does not want to sign. He wants to go to free agency and see what he can get, which is tough because, like I said, David Riddick is one of our biggest pieces on this team right now. And the fact that we've just lost him because he wants to test the free agent market, that sucks. Like, that really sucks. So we lose him. Unfortunately, we obviously can't sign him with just 3.5 million left. The big thing is we had to choose basically between Yusuf Valimaki and David Riddick. And again, Valimaki, medium elite potential at 86 overall and 22 years of age. He's going to be our future #1 defenseman. So did we want him or did we want a 28-year-old goalie in David Riddick? It was a very hard choice, and I was really disappointed at this point in the episode that we didn't get Riddick. Here we basically offered Talbot what he wants to come back as our backup, but very disappointed that we didn't get David Riddick. I mean, he was our #1 goalie. I really didn't want to. I wasn't even expecting coming into this episode that, like I said, I forgot even the fact that all of our goalies had no contracts. So I wasn't expecting to lose Riddick in this episode, but that is what it is. Basically here, what we do is we release Perry, Jankowski, and Vandenberg, or we keep Vandenberg, but we offer him a contract. He denies it, so we end up losing him anyway. So we have to release all of our UFAs because we got no salary cap space left now, and we have to sign a #1 goalie. So Talbot does come back as our backup goalie. Vandenberg, like I said, rejects. And then I'm just trying to see here. Yeah, so then that's it. Then we go to July 1. So that's how basically the episode ends. We do take a look at free agency, and I think we're going to do that still, just to see or maybe we'll do in the next episode. But anyways, that is what it looks like in this quick abbreviated version of episode 16. I know it's really confusing. It's all over the place. I apologize. I'm on my computer right now, and it's so hard to scroll through and pick out the parts I wanted to show you out of this episode in this recap video. But it is what it is. Unfortunately, like I said, I will make sure for sure the microphone is plugged in moving forward. And I apologize for the audio. I don't even know how it's going to sound coming through my laptop right now. If it does sound weird, I apologize for that. Because like I said, I'm just recording off the speaker on the computer right now. So yeah, basically, like I said, in a nutshell, we went into the re-signing phase. We brought back Valimaki, Dubé, and Shillington, 3 huge key pieces for our young team going forward. And we brought back Talbot, also our goaltending prospect Dustin Wolf. We signed him to an entry-level contract. But we lose a lot of pieces. We lose all of our UFAs, Perry, Jankowski. We do qualify Bennett. I don't know if I can show you here the RFAs that we do. Yeah, we actually qualify all of these guys. So we qualify Bennett right here. We qualify Nielsen, Valier, Phillips, and then we release everybody, or we don't qualify these guys. Kirkland on downward. I guess I should push play. Yeah, so we qualify these guys. Basically meaning we have the rights, qualify them as an RFA. So we don't sign them, but we do qualify them. And then like I say, we release Perry, Jankowski, and eventually Fantenberg to free agency. Just because, like I said, we have to focus with, if you see down here, where are we? Right here. I know it's hard to see, but 3.57 is our cap space. We need to sign a #1 goalie now that David Rittich is gone to free agency. So basically, we'll just minimize that quickly, and welcome to my my lineup screen here. Now you can see my lineups. This is one thing that's good about being on the computers. You can see the screen that shows us our projected lineup. So this is a quick look at what our lineup now looks like going into next season. I just wanted to show you this before we end this recap video and jump into episode 17, just so you know what we are looking like going into free agency. So basically, this is what our now official lineup looks like. Johnny Gaudreau, you can see 90 overall. Both him and Monahan come down to 90. They were at 91. They come down to 90. They're with Lindholm at 86. Now, like I said, we have the option to flip Tkachuk up there to 86. And maybe flip Lindholm down here, Domi and Mangiapane, but there's Lindholm 86, Tkachuk 86, Domi 86, and then Mangiapane 82. Bennett, who is an RFA not signed, I've got him penciled in right now, though, as our left winger on the third line, 80 overall, Backlund 84, and then Dubé 82. Dubé jumps up to an 82. I think he was a 79 at the start of the season, so he jumps up. That's good to see. He's actually the same as Mangiapane. Wilson, 79, Versteeg, 78, and Matthew Phillips comes in as our fourth-line center currently as it stands at 74. Like I said, we lost Corey Perry. We lost Mark Jankowski, who occupied this spot. We lost some other depth guys as well. So we're quite thin. We don't even have a 13th forward. I don't want to even go in with Phillips. I think 74 is too low to go into the NHL with. I wouldn't mind sending Phillips back to the AHL and going in with a fourth-line centerman and a 13th forward. So we're going to have to do some shopping in free agency. It's going to be tough because we're going to have not a lot of cap space. Our defense looks like this. Our defense is really stacked. 89 overall for Hanifin and 86 for Valimaki. These two are so young. Like I said, Valimaki's 22. Hanifin, I think, is like 24, 23, 24. So they're really, really young. This is our #1 pairing of the future, and they're already almost 90 each, and they both have like elite medium potential. I mean, this is insane. These two are going to be our #1 and 2 defensemen going forward. So perfect that we have them as our #1 pairing going into next year. Giordano, he drops down in 89. He has 1 year left on his contract, which is about $6.75 million. But he is still an elite defenseman, still 89 overall at, I think, 38 years of age, 39 maybe. I forget what he is. We'll look at it in the next episode. Rasmus Anderson, 85. Then we got Shillington, 79. Hamnick, 83. And then Schlemko, 78. And Nielsen, 76 for what would be our AHL starters down there. And then you can see very sad here is our question mark where David Rittich once used to occupy. He is no longer a part of the team as he is officially in free agency. We can go back and try and get him in free agency. We're going to take a look at that in the next episode to see if we can maybe still get him. There's Talbot, who we brought back as our backup at 81. So basically, like I said, this is what it looks like. Like I said there at the end, we have what 3.57 to work with. So 3.57 to work with is not going to get us a decent starting goalie. So we have to trade a piece on this roster. We have to get rid of salary cap space. Now, what I did notice is that I think who had Shillington or Nielsen? I think it was Nielsen actually here. Nielsen was making $1.some million. So we can get rid of him. Maybe it wasn't Nielsen because we just qualified. Somebody down here, maybe it was Schlemko. Somebody's making $1.some million that we can easily get rid of. So we'll trade them. Actually, I think it was Nielsen. I'll look in the next episode. So yeah. We can easily get rid of, if it is Nielsen, we'll get rid of him. That frees up $1.some million. That will bring our cap space to 4 point whatever. But we still need to trade a piece here to free up salary cap space. We're going to need about at least $5 million for a goalie, just for a goalie. Probably even more, like $5 million minimum for a starting goalie in free agency. We might even have to get more to really spice it up if we want to get a good guy like Rittich or as equal to Rittich. And then, like I said, we still need to get some fourth-line players and some depth pieces. So we do need to trade away a piece. I looked at what all these guys are making and who we could trade away. The most sensible option is Travis Hamnick. Unfortunately, I think he's making 3.some million. Again, I'll have to confirm. But it makes a lot of sense to trade a guy like Hamnick away. Our defense is stacked. Like I said, this is our top 4. We can easily bring in a 6th defenseman to replace Hamnick. I don't want to lose Hamnick, though. He is such a good defensive defenseman. None of these guys on our defensive core are a defensive defenseman. So if we lose Hamnick, that's taking a huge, huge shot at our defense. our defense capabilities, especially like on the PK and stuff. Hamnick was so good. So it would suck to lose him, but he makes the most sense. The only other guy is Elias Lindholm, but I want to, I don't want to give up on Lindholm. He's still pretty young. I think 26 years of age. Don't want to give up on him. He's 86. And obviously we're not going to give up on anybody else here. The only one that makes sense to me is Hamnick. We'll look at it in the next episode because we'll have a better look at the contract screen. But right now, this is just to look at what our lineup looks like. Basically, the reason I'm showing you this is I want to show you the holes that we have to fill. We have to fill 4th line center. We have to fill 13th forward. We have to fill starting goalie position. And that's not going to be easy, like I said, with very little cap to work with. Most of our money is going to go towards a starting goalie. But I still want some left over to fill these spots. And then we would basically go in with what we have here on the screen, and we wouldn't make any other changes. Like I said, really good regular season for the Calgary Flames. Lose for a 2nd straight year to the Anaheim Ducks in the Stanley Cup playoffs. It is what it is. We can't build our team around beating the Anaheim Ducks. We have to just continue to move forward, and one day, maybe one day, we just won't face the Anaheim Ducks. If we do, we do. But if we don't, that would be nice as well. I really hope we don't. But it is what it is. So anyways, this is just a quick recap. I know it's a lot longer than a recap video usually is, but I just wanted to quickly recap what happened there in episode 16, since obviously, like I said, since it recorded here, but there is no audio at all in this episode. So I just wanted to show you quickly what happened in this episode. Some important things happened. The main thing is, like I said, we signed some key pieces, but we lost David Riddick. Was not expecting that at all. But anyways, that's it for episode 16. We'll jump right into episode 17 now, which will be the start of free agency. Like I said, our focus will be to get a #1 goalie in free agency and trade away. Well, first we'll have to trade away a piece if it's Hamnick or somebody else, and then we'll get a #1 goalie, and then get our final couple pieces and get right through the off season. And then episode 19 we'll get right into simming our 3rd full season with the Flames. So that will do it for this recap episode. Like I said, just wanted to quickly show you what things look like in that episode. Again, I apologize for the way things happened. Also, I took a big break there in between uploads as well during the Christmas break. So that's why there was no videos for a while. And then I finally do make a video, episode 16, and the audio doesn't record. So I publish it and everything, and then I have to take it down because there's no audio. And so I thought I'd just throw this recap video out here, get it up, and then we'll get episode 17 out here shortly as well. So that will do it for this quick recap episode of episode 16. Again, I apologize for the audio and everything and recording off my computer, but unfortunately it is what it is. I will make sure going forward that I make sure that the microphone is plugged in, from this point on forward. But that will do it. So we'll see you in episode 17.